always his work my father cared about. His research. He tried to save his work. I tried to save him.
Hello there, Sera from 17 once again, introducing you to my Gears of War 3 Insane Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Act 5, Chapter 6, Reckoning, and this is the final boss, the Tempest War Beetle. And I'm going to have to burst a bunch of people's bubbles here, because if you're hoping for a small fight, this is a 15-minute long boss fight. And don't worry though, the first maybe 10 minutes or so of the fight, the first two phases are very easy. It's the same routine through the entire fight. It's the third phase where it's difficult because there are so many royal guards that are getting crammed up your ass. They kill you so quickly that it's almost impossible to get where you need to be and do what you need to do. So the general thesis and philosophy of this fight is use the cover when she does the attack. She will signpost the attack with a noise and by glowing. And if you're behind cover, you will take no damage whatsoever. If you're not behind cover, you will die instantly. And then pop out and shoot her in the mouth. Her mouth takes damage, and it sounds like a headshot when you hit it, so it sounds really, really loud, you know, when you're doing damage. It doesn't seem to matter what weapons your teammates have, they seem to be useless either way. I've got here with them all with boom shots, I've got here with them all with shotguns, and I ended up doing it when they had shotguns. So it doesn't matter how equipped your team is, it doesn't matter whatsoever. And what you need to be doing is just keep shooting her in the mouth, using the pillar as cover, and then eventually, once you do enough damage, you're going to get introduced to the Hammer of Dawn. So this is where shit gets stupid, because the hammer is in only certain select pillars when these things rise out of the ground. You would think the Hammer of Dawn would be on all of them, but it's only on the ones that have the lights on them, and it's only there once it's respawned if you take it. So this first phase is super easy because it's just you and the boss, and you can get the Hammer of Dawns at your own leisure. When it comes to the third phase later on, there's not that many Hammer of Dawns on the wall because you're waiting for them to respawn, and there's so many enemies in the vicinity that it's literally life or death getting to the hammer. And it makes this fight so much harder than it needs to be. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is probably one of the hardest boss fights I've done all year. And I've made like 30 plus guides this year, so I've played a lot of games. And by the way, once you hit her with the Hammer of Dawn, she will come back up onto the map 3 times, and each time she'll do her instant kill attack really quickly. And once you do this fight a few times, which I'm almost guarantee you will, you'll get used to this pattern. You'll get used to seeing the signs, knowing where she comes from and knowing when you're safe. You can actually blind fire and hit her mouth when she's doing this if you're in cover. Don't peek out and shoot her because you will take damage, and you don't want to waste dying, because one of the worst parts of this fight, the very first 2 phases all happen off the same checkpoint. That's weird that she turns to the side and she's still attacking me. I didn't understand it at the time. I was like, what the fuck's going off here? But it's just, you know, weirdness. So the first 10 minutes, if you die, you're all the way back at the start and you have to do it all over again. And it's not difficult, it's just a pain in the ass how long it takes, because this is insane and she takes a pounding. It's just that third phase, and the only real strategy I have for having a better advantage is make sure by the time it gets to the third phase, for instance, when she goes down for like the last time before you think she's going to die and go into the third phase, make sure you refill your ammo for your Lancer and your ammo for your Hammer of Dawn, and have as much as you physically can, because it will make the next section easier in theory, but you're still going to have to roll a dice and play with Lady Luck. So God, this is awful. I'm not even going to lie. I can't lie. It's not in my vocabulary. This is awful. And there's a lot of people that are probably going to give up on this boss because it's that much bullshit. But keep hitting her. You'll notice I keep marking her because I want my team to do more damage, and they don't really do any more than they normally do. And it just takes a little longer than it perhaps should. But if the boss stayed like this, it'd be nothing. It'd be not so much enjoyable because it's kind of repetitive, but it'd be a solid last boss. I've been up against stuff that were easier, I'll say that much, but instead they bring in reinforcements into it. So the first thing you're going to see is the Screamers, and the Screamers themselves aren't too bad, but when you bear in mind there can be 4 or 5 of them all firing fully automatic weapons and doing little bits of damage, they can be really deadly. And then when you bear in mind you're trying to evade them, the Queen's doing her instant kill move, and that'll kill you because you're trying to get away from the little shits. It's so bad. I don't get why they've done it this way. It just seems like a clusterfuck. It's just like, we'll throw everything in, and if you end up getting a cock in your mouth at the end of it, we're sorry that happened, you'll just have to use better mouthwash. There's no apology to it. They've just finished off in your face and slapped you. I don't get it. But take note to which of these towers are glowing blue. They're the ones that will give you the Hammer of Dawn, and they're the ones that you're going to have to come to get a refill. And that is easily the hardest part of this fight, getting back and refilling your hammer. If you die when you do it, you're back to the checkpoint and there's nothing you can do, it's just cheap. So a question that I have about Gears of War that I would probably ask Rod Ferguson if I ever met him is, at the end of Gears 1, there was a dude on the back of a Reaver. He had a cape, he looked beast, he looked like Ram, only he looked fiercer, kind of Theron-y, he looked madness. And by the way, this is the third phase of the fight, so this is when it starts to get difficult. And unfortunately, there's 10 minutes of this shit, which kind of sucks. Actually, this might be the second phase. Yeah, I think this is the second phase. The final phase is when the reactor powers up fully, my bad. So this is still when it's quite easy. The difference being is the Therons are up now. You will have to contend with a bit of company, but for whatever reason, the AI on them is nowhere near as aggressive as it gets in the third phase, and I don't know why. If the boss stayed like this, this would be easy. But unfortunately, that is not the case. But as I was saying, the guy at the end of the first game who has the cape and just looks awesome, I really wanted to see him in this one, because I was kind of expecting another unique locust like Scourge or Ram, but instead we got the armoured Cantuses, and they were a bit shit really, weren't they? Because I expected them to be like, when there was 3 of them stood up and she was talking, I thought, you know, it's going to be the Locust Brothers, and each one is going to have a more ridiculous weapon than the other, and it turned out they were all just an identical enemy, and they were just really big metal Cantuses, which kind of disappointed me because I like unique things. I like a sub-boss before the final boss, you know, I like a lackey, a bodyguard type thing. But we never got it, and maybe it's just something for FMV, that dude. Maybe he was just a design for an older version of something that became a different creature. I don't know, it could be the Theron's original concept design. But it's a shame because he looked cool. I liked him a lot. But this is exactly the same as what we've been doing before. Keep shooting her, keep hitting her good. And when she goes down, hit her with the Hammer of Dawn. Make sure you stay away from the goddamn Theron guards. They will be the only thing that causes you any trouble here. And as soon as you see the cutscene that marks the reactor spinning around, that means we're going to be into the third section. So when she goes down is the best time to pick ammo up, because as you've noticed, she's a goddamn bullet sponge. She takes a pounding, an absolute pounding. And try not to waste too much of the hammer when you don't need to. As soon as she starts to back up, stop firing it and save it. I think I did that a little bit early then, yeah. That was a little early. You want to at least... There you go. When she starts to move backwards, that's when you want to stop doing it, because... why does it have ammo? This is it anyway, guys. This is the final part. Get used to seeing this cutscene, because this is where things get difficult. She's going to jump up on the tower, and she's going to try and destroy the reactor. And this is when shit gets crazy. So the first thing I do, I run over here, and I pray to God I don't die. So I kill this Theron, I try and kill them both, but I'm getting shot to pieces. So I do a cheeky bit of blind fire there. I'm going to chainsaw this guy because I've died so many times by this point. I'm like, fuck it, this is getting done. Run over here, refill the Hammer of Dawn. I don't get the ammo because I've got 350 rounds of the Lancer, and I run over to this back area where this lovely little manger thing is. I don't know what the hell it is, it's like a veranda. And then you want to shoot her because she's been hammering the tower and we need to bring her down. Make sure you mark her, make sure you don't take too much damage from the left or the right, because people will shoot you here. You are not safe, but it is easily the safest place because nothing will rush you. None of the Therons come even remotely close to you. They will just try and shoot you from the sides. And right now, I'm using the Gorgon because I want to save my Lancer ammo, because I know how far this fight goes. And when she starts to climb, that means that you've done it. You'll see the electricity and she'll fall down. She'll do the instant death move. This is where you need to shoot her. So you can blind fire if you're not confident or if you start taking damage. But for the most, you want to be getting every shot you can on target, because you can't afford to waste ammo. Going out to get ammo is the most suicidal part of the fight. So she does a little bit of a roar, she goes to the other side. The only problem with this side is you can't quite see her because of the goddamn tree, but it's not the end of the world because, I mean, there's there's another 6 minutes worth of this shit, and the checkpoint is just non-existent. So just keep shooting her, keep getting those active reloads, keep praying for her to fall down, and you never know, maybe you'll get lucky, maybe when you hit her with the Hammer of Dawn, you'll hit a critical point and she'll die quicker than she does for me, but she takes so much damage. I thought she was dead now. I thought a full Hammer of Dawn was going to kill her, and it doesn't even come close. So you can only generally do half the charge in one hit, then you have to charge it again. But there you go, keep hitting her, hit her with all you've got, and unfortunately, she's not dead. So what we have to do now is we have to somehow get back to where that Hammer of Dawn spawn is on those pillars and get a refill, because I have none left and you can't kill her without the hammer. And this is when it gets scary, because Theron guards are everywhere. They will kill you so quickly, and right now this is a stalemate. They're stopping me from getting to the hammer, I can't kill the boss, and it's a gut feeling, guys. There's no surefire way of doing this, because when you go out of cover, you are risking dying, and risking dying means back to that cutscene where she jumps on the tower. And it isn't even funny. This is probably the most terrified I've been playing a game. The only other time that even comes close is when I was trying to beat Dragon Force before I could, and I used to get so nervous, and I'd hold my breath when I was playing it, and I'd shake. God, that was awful. But there I go, no conflict whatsoever. The first thing I try and do is hit her with the hammer, because I'm hoping she just needs a little bit more. I know there's Therons to my left, Therons to my right, but there she goes, she falls down, and I'm like, God damn, she's taking a beating. So I use this time to pick the ammo up, and then I run back to my hiding spot. And you've got to be quick, because look at that. I'm so close to dying. Oh, it's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Wait for your life to regenerate, get back in cover. Once you're back in cover, you can start hammering her again, and hope, just hope to God, them Therons don't get any lucky shots in and down you, because, God, this is terrifying, it's awful. So just keep shooting her, keep on hitting her with everything you've got, and as soon as she starts to move upwards, she'll shift about, but that doesn't count. When she moves upwards and you see the blue light, that means you've knocked her off. Be mindful though, if you don't shoot her enough, she will crack the glass and kill Adam and you'll fail. It's the same thing as getting hit by the Therons, and it's bullshit, but it's what you've got to put up with if you want to get this achievement. So there she goes, there's the blue light, she's fallen off. We're on our second Hammer of Dawn now. She's doing the big old death ray. For some reason then I just turned into a giant beard, but we'll get over it. Just keep hitting her in the mouth. We've picked up the ammo pack, so every gun now is going to have a little bit more ammo than it did before. I'm getting tagged. You need to reposition as best you can, but be mindful here. She can hit you with that death ray if you're at the side of this. If you're not in proper cover, instant death, game over. So it's a balancing act between not showing too much to the Therons and not showing too much to the Queen, and it definitely takes a little bit of practice, but this is the safest spot I've found by far. Just keep hitting her with the blind fire, hitting her with the actives, hitting her with everything you've got. She takes far too much damage. It's unbelievable. Just keep shooting her. She'll go down once more. You'll empty the rest of your hammer. There you go. That sounded weird when I said it then. I don't know why. But hit her with the rest of the hammer. And then you've got to go for the final refill. And that is the last bastion between you and beating the boss, because if you can get the final hammer and get back here, you have beaten the game. The only problem is, getting to the hammer and getting back is probably the most terrifying thing I've done this year, and if you can keep calm and composed, you are a better man than I am, because I was terrified. But there she goes, she's gone down again. I was just like, please fucking die, and she just takes it. She takes it like Rocky. Swear to God, I felt like Dolph Lundgren. I was like, she's like a piece of iron. You just don't know where you stand. It's awful. But just keep hitting her. There goes my second hammer. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is just evil. And then I just said balls to it. There's no Therons. This is it. This has got to be my final stand. I know she's going to pop back up and hit me with the death ray. If that touches me, I'm dead. If they touch me, I'm dead. I'm pretty much dead every single equation. But luckily enough, she's still stunned. I managed to hit her with the hammer. I start draining it on her, and she fucking dies. Oh my God. Congratulations, guys. There you go. Insane is conquered. That is one of the worst last bosses I've come across in a while. If you beat it, congratulations. You've earned every single point of this game a score. And a little trick here, I turn my notifications off so that they don't distract the video, because they get a bit annoying when people send you messages and friends are popping online, so the achievement doesn't pop. But I go into my dash, I turn the notifications back on, and you see the achievement. So it's proof enough. It's 10:30 at night. when I finally did it. This was on, I think, the 22nd, maybe? It'll tell you. It could be the 21st, I can't remember. So there's my game, 21st. Onks, completed all campaigns on Insane. Thanks for watching, guys, and you take care now.